Hey guys, Lance here. Since I did my initial eGPU build video with my Radeon RX480 that you see here, I've been wanting to make a follow-up video. I wanted to cover a couple of things in that, but while I was planning that, I noticed that there was a new script released by Goalque for the eGPU automation, version 1.0.0, and there was also some new macOS updates released. I was running the 10.12.3 developer beta. 10.12.5 developer beta is out now, so I went ahead and installed that. But little did I know, Goalque's new script doesn't appear to work with 10.12.4 and newer with RX series cards. I have found a very easy way around that. It's another Kext file that needs to be modified, part of the script needs a different Kext file name added, but I'll go through that in more detail soon. And I also wanted to cover how you can get Final Cut Pro to run with an eGPU, as I've seen many people have issues doing this. Some Kext files do need to be removed, as when you launch Final Cut Pro, you'll receive a panic report relating to graphics switching. So I'll go ahead and show you guys all of that now. I did want to mention that through all of this, the RX series cards didn't work with the new script. So after I updated the Mac OS, I had no way to display any image on the ultra wide, as it only works with the eGPU, and I have no other monitor to use. I resorted to using an app called Duet, which I already had been using and owned, which is an amazing app. You can use an iOS device as a second screen through USB. Lucky I had that as a startup item, so I simply had to plug the iPad in and open up Duet, and I was doing all my working on that. Once I was up and running, I completely uninstalled all the scripts and went ahead and installed them fresh, and then I found I still had no external display, or no display on the ultra wide, and I didn't get that typical whoosh noise that anyone that's used an eGPU with a Radeon card or AMD card will hear. I'll probably film that so you guys can hear it, but you basically hear a whoosh sound as the fan briefly runs at max speed when you're booting the Mac. So we've opened up the GitHub link for the Automate eGPU script. So we can see here that it says at present AMD Radeon 400 series cards are not supported on Mac OS 10.12.4. Now that is how I'm running this now, and I can show you my about this Mac. I am running 10.12.5 beta, so there isn't any problem with that. So what we need to do is we'll first click clone or download and download zip, and that will open here. I've got my zip files set to automatically extract when they're downloaded. We then want to go here. All I use is this, but I will copy this, and then we want to go home, and I've already got one here. I will delete that completely and paste the new one, and we want to open this with TextEdit. Actually, before we do, I'll show you what happens if we try and run this script now. So I'll go ahead and open up Terminal with Spotlight, of course, and I've probably run it recently. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, we want to always do this command first, chmod +x, and then I will go ahead and run the script. Admin password. And we'll see there's a lot of messages here. Print entry, IO kit, personalities, controller IO, PCI match does not exist, pass error, unclose quotes, whatever. So we'll wait for it to finish rebuilding caches, and then I'll show you what this shows after I change the script. Now while that's rebuilding the caches, I thought I'd mention we can see in the release notes that this will automatically add the PCI ID for the AMD RX series cards, so there's no need to add that manually anymore. We can also see that the advanced -A mode aims to configure everything automatically in the background so the user can continue working after OS 10 updates immediately. So I guess that means it should automatically work after a software update. I'm hopeful. I guess I'll have to wait until another beta release comes out. There's also some tests, Metal test and OpenCL test and things like that that you can run with other terminal commands. So we've got that back here. Now if I go back to my library, oh sorry, not my library, my home directory, and I open this with TextEdit, what we need to do is go Command F, and we want to look for 9500. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 entries. So that is the AMD controller, and in 10.12.4 and newer, the controller has moved from 9500 to 9510. So we want to tick replace here, and we want to change this to 9510 and replace all, and then we want to Command S to save it. We'll close that, and now this time when I run the script, we can see the difference in output from terminal. So we can see that there was no errors or other messages this time, and that is all I had to do to get this working and have full eGPU acceleration. There is one other thing I wanted to show you for the RX series cards. It's another script from Goalque that isn't as easily found as the Automate eGPU one. So once this is done, I'll reboot, make sure that I'm still all working, and I'll go ahead and show you guys that as well. And as you can see, I'm all back up and running, and that is all you need to do with the new script. You don't need to add anything to any Kext files or anything like that. Now here I've got the other script from Goalque. Now this is to enable all the compute units of the AMD RX480, because if you look into the script, what it actually does is it tricks the Mac into thinking it's using a previous generation AMD card, which is why under graphics it says R9XXX. It might be a R9 290, 280, 270, whatever. But it's because it's using the Mac drivers for the R9 series cards. So of course you don't have all of the compute units of the RX480 available to you. Now that might not mean a lot to everyone, but some people may be interested. Now he has left a pretty serious warning here, stating that it could fry your the board in your Keto, depending what box you're using for your eGPU. So bear that in mind. Him and I both aren't responsible for anything that happens because of this. Just saying, word of warning. Now when we scroll down on the page, we can see the script is down here, just in text. Now what we will need to do is we'll need to make this into a file. So we want to go ahead and open up Terminal. And I'll bring my Finder window nearby. And in Terminal we want to type cat, and then that arrow, and we want to name that file. So we're going to copy the name from here, and we're going to paste it, and then it's going to bring us a box here where we can enter the script. So now we can also see that file was created in Finder. So we want to go ahead and copy the entire script. So highlight it all and copy. And then in Terminal we want to paste, and then we want to go to a new line. I like to put 2, and then on the keyboard we want to press Control C, and that has saved that file. So now we can go ahead and run this. So we want to use this command first. And then we want to run this one for an RX480, which is what I'm using. So we're now going to paste that and we'll run the file. We'll need the admin password. Now this is the easiest way I thought we could do this, as simply copying the script into a text edit document and changing it from an RTF file to a .sh file won't work. I did try that, so this would be the easiest way, using the cat function with the greater than arrow. So that is now done and ready. I'm not sure if this needs to be done after every boot. If you were just here to see how to get Final Cut Pro to work, I'm sorry you've had to wait this long, but of course you may be very familiar with this screen when trying to launch Final Cut Pro. So you'll get this normal loading box and it'll open up maybe this far, maybe not even this far, and it'll close. For a second I thought it was going to open, but it'll just close. And any second now a crash report will come up here. So we can see set virtual screen failed, didn't expect to get here, investigate why this code ran, blah 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 blah. But anyway, this will happen. So what you need to do to get this to run is actually remove the Kext files related to the integrated GPU of your Mac. Now, because you are removing these, bear in mind you'll have no display from the inbuilt ports. I don't know if that's specific to a Mac Mini, as that's what I'm using, a 2012 Mac Mini. And when I remove these, I would get no HDMI display, but I would get display on mini DisplayPort with a dual link DVI adapter. I don't know why that is, but anyway, I'll show you the files we need to remove. So we want to go to Go and then Computer, and then to our Macintosh HD, System, Library, and then we want to look for extensions. Don't want to rename it. And then I have the Intel HD 4000, so we want to look for HD 4000 in the search only the extensions folder, and there'll be a few here. Now the three we need to remove are GL driver, MTL driver, and VA driver. So I will just drag those to the desktop, but before I drop them I'll hold the command key and admin password, and those have now been moved to the desktop. Now you will want to keep those, because if you do need to run your scripts to get your eGPU to work after a software update, it's probably a good idea to put these back before you do that update, just to be safe. That's what I do, and I'll just put them into this folder here. Now all you need to do to put them back and ensure they have the correct permissions is to run Kext Utility. I'll post a link to where you can download that in the video description, but you'll want to run Kext Utility and a box will appear. You then want to drag these three files into that box. The permissions will be set correctly and put into the correct location so the internal ports will work once again. But now I will launch Final Cut Pro. I'm in the middle of editing a video, but I'll launch it and you guys can see that it will launch without issue. And we can see there I am, and we've got a project in the works here. That about wraps up all I wanted to cover in this video. I do thank you guys all a lot for watching, and I really hope that you found this helpful or entertaining. I'm trying to get my eGPU stuff out a lot quicker because it's changing so rapidly, and I do thank you guys all a lot for watching. Check me out on social media down below. I'll also have some new links down there, as there's some things that have changed since my last eGPU video. And hey, I'll see you in the next one.